conditioning? Get hair that feels hands-on clean with Prell Conditioner. Its water-based formula rinses clean. For hair that feels irresistibly hands-on clean.
I can't wait to get my hands on.
Water-based Prell. Conditioning that's hands-on clean.
Gene here doesn't know it, but you don't have to try and stay up for the late news. You can get the late news early, the big news, the 10 o'clock news, only on Fox 29.
Tonight on Hard Copy. Cynthia Asher was an executive secretary who said her boss had an indecent obsession.
This was not a totally professional relationship he was seeking.
Police said he wanted her, and to get her, he wanted her boyfriend dead. So Cynthia went to their rendezvous wired up for the boss trap.
I honestly don't care what they do to him after he goes to prison.
Hollywood Confidential. Cindy Adams tearing the covers off celebrity secrets.
Unrelenting, uncensored, unbelievable gossip.
Heartthrob Luke Perry.
And it's a dirty little movie from his past that they hoped we wouldn't find.
Marilyn Monroe's real identity.
The daughter of a very powerful Hollywood tycoon.
The reigning Miss America back with the man who battered her.
Try this one.
Unrelenting, uncensored Cindy Adams. Hollywood Confidential.
This is Hard Copy for Tuesday, February 11, 1992. Hello and welcome. I'm Barry Nolan.
And I'm Terry Murphy. Good evening.
A lot of secretaries have to fend off the advances of bosses who fall in love or in lust. Cynthia Asher says she not only had to fend off her boss's affection, police say she had to expose her boss's plot to eliminate her boyfriend. Doug Bruckner has the story.
The millionaires in the marinas on Orange County, California's Gold Coast still can't believe it. One of their own, a defendant. A 57-year-old company president up on charges he took out a murder contract to get a mistress. This is the 24-year-old secretary whose charms allegedly caused her boss to risk everything. Julius Jerry Schill, wealthy family man, former Little League coach, brother of a Long Island, New York police officer, going on trial in the attempted murder for hire of his secretary's boyfriend. The indictment describes it as a rub-out for romance. A $43,000 plot allegedly hatched in Las Vegas through a reputed member of New York's feared Genovese crime family. The FBI charges the defendants in jail uniforms with being the hitmen. They're accused of beating and shooting the victim to make him disappear, so the boss would allegedly have no competition for his young secretary. But no one counted on the survival skills of this tough ex-Marine.
I knew I'd been beaten. I didn't know I'd been shot.
And you knew you were bleeding?
I knew I was bleeding very badly.
Were there times there where you didn't think you were going to make it through?
There were times where I wanted to give up.
Did you have any idea at all when you were first contacted what might have been the motive behind the attack?
No. For months, I had no idea.
Cynthia Asher was executive secretary at the suburban Los Angeles Auto Photo Company. This warehouse environment is hardly the place you'd expect a romantic obsession to develop, but the indictment says this is where company president Schill was smitten with his young assistant, even though he's married to an attractive blonde. More than 30 years older than his secretary, the boss allegedly tried to impress her by bragging he was a millionaire.
He can pretty much buy whatever he wants.
According to the indictment, there was no limit to the amount of money Schill was willing to spend to woo his athletic young secretary. Cynthia loved to ride. According to the indictment, Schill offered to buy a horse stable, a condominium for her to live in, and a new car to drive. But Cynthia stayed with her ex-Marine. And that's when, according to the indictment, Schill sought out muscle in Las Vegas. This dramatization shows how Will Constable says he was set up for a contract hit. He came off work to find his car had been dented. Left on the vehicle was a business card with a note asking him not to report to police.
He answered the phone like he was at work, and and proceeded to explain to me why he'd like me to meet him to pay me off for the car.
When Constable arrived at the meeting point, he came face to face with a .38. Two men with baseball bats joined the gunman. Constable was beaten and finally shot in the back of the head.
It was a vicious attack. Let there be no doubt about that. One of the bats broke, and part of it was there.
Detectives won't say if it was prints on the bats that led them to arrest these men, and they won't say how Schill came under suspicion. But the indictment says after the attack, Cynthia Asher went to dinner with Schill at this restaurant wearing a recording device.
The offer of a condominium.
Did he say where or how big or?
No. One of those people that, I can afford anything. A horse farm in Fallbrook. There was an offer of that.
To lease one or buy one?
For me to run one. Whatever he meant by that, buying one, leasing it, who knows?
Whether you'd own it, he'd own it?
I, didn't pursue that conversation.
But no more secretaries, you'd be running a horse farm.
Right.
She insists she never encouraged him.
If I had encouraged this and, milked whatever relationship working however else, I'd have more than one horse. I certainly wouldn't be living in a two-bedroom house with, virtually no backyard. I'd have a lot more than that.
Jerry Schill has pleaded innocent, but he isn't talking about his defense. His family says he loves his wife. She says she loves him. Cynthia Asher is likely to be the key witness against her former boss. The boyfriend still suffers serious vision problems from the attack Schill is accused of masterminding.
I have no sympathy for the man, whether he was at one time my friend or not. And I honestly don't care what they do to him after he goes to prison.
Guess she's not going to get the raise.
Guess not. Now, Cindy Adams is about to lift the lids off Hollywood again. Night 2 of Hollywood Confidential, Marilyn Monroe's secret love child, next.
And a little later, the movie 90210 heartthrob Luke Perry would like to forget.
Have you heard the new Kiss 100? What's new?
The 50-50 mix.
50% oldies, 50% new. It's twice as fun.
It's like having a pizza. You got half mushroom, half pepperoni.
Michael Bolton.
Martha and the Vandellas.
Steve Winwood. The 50-50 mix. Half old, half new. Just a great mix.
Try the 50-50 mix of oldies and new songs on the new Kiss 100.
How to build a better body. Step 1, come to Bally's. Step 2, prepare to sweat. Step 3, step Reebok. Join Bally's now for only $24 a month. Pay as you go with no long-term commitments. Get it all, plus the step Reebok workout. This ain't no dance class. Call 1-800-WORKOUT.
What I'm trying to say is, I love you, Miriam.
This cake looks delicious.
I guess I've always loved you.
Really delicious.
Your eyes, your lips.
The crunchies, the ice cream.
You've become a piece of me.
I'd love another piece.
This Valentine's Day, give her a Carvel ice cream cake. We can't promise you her love will last forever, but it will last through dessert.
Is there anything you'd like to say, Miriam?
Are you going to eat that?
The Carvel Valentine Cake. Now only $9.99.
40 years ago, Dunkin' Donuts was making the freshest, most delicious donuts you could buy.
I still do. Oh, yeah? I used to make Dunkin' Donuts in dozens of varieties. What do you think I do? I make them in up to 52 varieties. But I made them fresh, day and night. I still do.
Really? Dunkin' Donuts. The freshest then, the freshest now.
She snarls, she scratches, she claws at the truth without fear or favor. She's Cindy Adams, and not since Hedda Hopper or Luella Parsons has Hollywood been so edgy. Welcome to night 2 of Cindy's Hollywood Confidential.
Hello, Barry and Terry, and hello, kiddies. Welcome to Cartoonland, where the Hollywood flax can make wrong seem right and black seem white, and where infidelity can be painted as a virtue and a dark past can come off as bleached as Madonna's roots. A world of illusion where life's true grit will be repackaged in fantasy color if you let them. This is Hollywood Confidential, where we don't let them. So tonight, who's the lady nobody knows quite what to do about? A lady saying she is Marilyn Monroe's long-lost daughter. I don't know if she is or she isn't, but she's made me rethink all I thought I knew about the late Marilyn Monroe. Our Diane Diamond has been chasing her story.
She lives here in this faraway tropical paradise, Cindy, but the story she tells could set Hollywood, it could set the whole country on its ear, if you believe.
She may look small and harmless, but Nancy Maniscalco Green is the last person a lot of people in Hollywood want to see. Not only does she say she is the daughter of Marilyn Monroe, she says there is a secret story, a secret beginning to the sex siren's life no one has ever told, yet. It has to do, says Nancy, with mobsters, money, and finally, murder.
If she hadn't been murdered, I would have had a normal life.
We flew with Nancy to California to hear her story. She wanted to visit some of the places Marilyn had left her mark.
Yeah. Incredible, huh? My mother. I mean, it's a funny feeling, in a way.
She is 45 years old now, about 10 years older than Marilyn was when she died. But Nancy has not had the benefit of Hollywood professionals to help her stay young-looking.
Yeah. It's easier if I didn't exist. It's easier if I wasn't born. You know, it's easier, really, if they hadn't killed her. You know, but they did.
Listen to that voice. Could it possibly be?
And my thanks to Look magazine.
Nancy was born in 1946. Marilyn would have been almost 21 years old. It was before her big Hollywood break. In the early 50s, actress Jeannie Carmen became Monroe's close friend.
I was talking about a pregnancy once, and she said I was pregnant. I had a baby, a little girl, and they took it away.
A little background on Nancy. She grew up in New York, says she was raised by a woman who was actually her aunt. She is dead now, but Nancy called her Aunt Mom. Nancy is a published author. Her book, Lesser Sins, got good reviews when she wrote it some years back, but for some mysterious reason, she could never sell another book.
That was it. First 40,000 copies sold in a month, and then in the first month of the 65,000 printing, and then supposedly they were all returned.
Nancy says she grew up in a large, loving Italian family in New York, but it was a family with dark secrets. Throughout the years, whenever she would ask about the pretty lady who came to visit and what her relationship was to the family, it was made clear to Nancy that she shouldn't ask.
My first recollections are at my grandmother's bungalow when I was very, very young. And my mom was very often with the Strasbergs. And they used to come out to the country house.
The Strasbergs were Marilyn's acting coaches in New York. Years later, Nancy says she sorted out the reality. And here comes the biggest shocker of all. Nancy says Aunt Mom was really Marilyn's sister, and that both girls were the illegitimate product of mobster-turned-Hollywood mogul Vito Genovese and a beautiful Italian woman from Long Island. Nancy says Vito promised to package Marilyn for stardom. As wild as it seems, there are professional investigators who say it could be true. Sidney Patrick checked Nancy out for a potential publisher.
Well, certainly if you subscribe to the JFK conspiracy theory, you can certainly accept that an American organized crime family could take a person from obscurity, build a background for them, document a background for them, and produce a star. I don't have any problem believing that part of Nancy's story.
Nancy always carries with her an original copy of her birth certificate, which lists the woman she calls Aunt Mom as her birth mother. A favor, she says, from one already married sister to another single one on her way to stardom. But the thumbprints on the certificate are not the late Aunt Mom's. She had a big scar across one of her thumbs. Nancy insists these are Marilyn Monroe's prints. But since the star's death, getting a comparison set seems impossible. We continue to try.
My grandmother says, yeah, well, of course I know who my daughter was. Yeah, my daughter was Marilyn Monroe.
The grandmother, age 90, still lives on Long Island but refuses to talk. If it's all true, Nancy should have gotten Monroe's estate. It's under the control of others now, and they, Nancy feels, are the reason she can't sell a Marilyn book.
What kind of case is this? Is it open and shut? Have you got that much documentation?
It's absolute proof.
You just can't get in a courtroom.
Yes, that's right. Because I don't have any money.
In the early 50s, it simply wouldn't do for a rising Hollywood starlet to have an illegitimate daughter at her side. But Nancy says she saw Marilyn often whenever she visited New York.
I was with her family. She was in contact with them. So when I was 18, why wouldn't I have been told?
But she was dead by then.
But she was dead by then.
And now, so is the man Nancy claims was her natural father, a New York attorney.
I think probably the time is right and the climate is right for Nancy to come forward and almost demand an investigation into Marilyn's life and death.
Can't say I'm convinced, but impressive as far as lost love child stories go. I'll be back in a minute to tell you about Luke Perry and his dirty movie.
Cindy's also got the scoop on Miss America, back in the arms of the boyfriend who, she said, tried to throw her out of a moving car. Stay tuned. Tomorrow on Hard Copy, he said his new bride was shot dead in a horrible crime. Then police found the clue to his perfect murder. The honeymoon video, tomorrow. Back in a moment with more Hard Copy.
Now back pain doesn't have to ruin another night's sleep. Introducing new Doan's PM. Doan's starts with a unique pain reliever these brands don't have, then adds a second ingredient to help you sleep. New Doan's PM for nighttime back pain.
Choose to be your most beautiful, salon beautiful.
From Lean Curtis, Salon Selectives gives you the choices you need for salon beautiful hair.
You've got the choice, you've got the right to be your most beautiful.
With 6 salon shampoos and 6 conditioners, choose your combination and feel like you just stepped out of the salon. With Salon Selectives,
choose to be your most beautiful.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus. So now you can relieve your cold and cough together. Introducing Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Medicine. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
Great stars singing great songs that stand the test of time. Always on WPEN, only on WPEN. 950 WPEN, the station of the stars.
Hello, Mike, it's me. Back in town and headed for the bar, yeah. Taco Bell. Honey, I got a craving. Why don't you meet me there? Taco Bell. That Taco Bell taste starts at 69 cents. That one and only taste. How long has it been? Got a craving, gotta run for the bar, yeah.
If you call South Jersey from Philadelphia, PA, save lots of money down TBPA. More action that sound like that.
Because optometrists care, there's Vision USA. To find out if you qualify for free eye care, contact your local Salvation Army or your local member agency of the Association for the Blind.
Hollywood celebrities may want to put on their bulletproof vests because Cindy Adams is about to continue tonight's edition of Hollywood Confidential. Cindy?
Welcome back. Now, Luke Perry, the Beverly Hills 90210 hotshot, has every schoolgirl in America bewitched, every movie director drooling. Even Madonna wants to take him home. But Luke, darling, Mother's got a naughty little film here from your past. You know, the one with the underage girl.
Don't! John, please stop!
It's the Luke Perry you've never seen and never wanted to see.
Friends, don't let friends drink and drive.
How touching.
TV's most drooled over and oldest high schooler in captivity, cover boy for every magazine from Rolling Stone to Sideburns Illustrated, gone berserk.
Hey, dude. Just carrying on my ongoing love affair with Kirsten here.
Welcome to terminal bliss. You should pardon the expression. Enough to terminate your squeaky clean fantasies about this James Dean clone. Terminal bliss. A movie with a budget lower than Madonna's Boyfriends. The tender story of a high school child who drinks drugs, and drives.
No, I'm very drunk. In fact, I'm well on my way to a Cuervo coma.
Also curses, lies, falls in love, and rapes an underage girl. It's a musical.
John. What are you doing?
Come on.
Please stop. Please don't. John, please stop.
Hey, just like a wedding.
Hey, not my wedding, pal. Now, what could have driven Luke Perry to throw away his image for a ratty, raunchy, kiddie skin flick like this?
Dropped acid last night.
Nah, it's a lot simpler than that. Skinny little Luke made terminal bliss when he was a big, fat nobody. That was only 3 or 4 years ago, and he was still at least 5 years out of high school, by the way.
Eve liked snakes.
Now, Luke Perry has an image to protect, even though his character on Beverly Hills 90210 is an ex-boozer who's sown more wild oats than Mr. Ed.
Oh, come down here, my little snow bunny. It's good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
At first, Lukey Boy denied he made the movie. Right, must be a look-alike. I like that one. I mean, who was to know? This movie wasn't even headed to video stores, not until Beverly Hills 90210 gave Luke more exposure than Cher's pants.
You remember we had that, macho gym teacher? He used to tell us stories about stock boys in the drugstore, poking little teeny holes in condoms.
Now it's set to steam up theaters everywhere, and you can Luke for yourself.
It's cold.
Now here's another thing I came across this week.
What's new?
What's new? Nu'u Fa'aola. You remember him, the big bully football star who used to date Miss America Carolyn Sapp, and who used to hit, threaten, choke, and try to toss her out of a speeding car. So unfriendly.
Only I and only Carolyn and only God knows the truth.
Miss America even got a court order to keep Nu'u away.
It was very painful to me, and it's not something I want to talk about and discuss.
But get this, kiddies, my sources tell me Carolyn and Nu'u are an item again, smooching at a birthday party and in public. God knows what they're doing in private. Nu'u tells us no way, but one insider tells me they never split up, and they never learn either.
I still love her and she still loves me.
See, even the most wholesome stars have a few little secrets, but Mother is warning you, it's just a matter of time before Hollywood Confidential finds out.
So what else do you have coming up this week, Cindy?
Well, how about hidden footage showing Julia Roberts living the life of a slob?
Those gals whose marriages were ruined by a night in the sack with Elvis. Plus the porn stars who mix with the big stars behind the scenes.
We'll see you tomorrow, Cindy.
Good night, everyone.
Now the story of a Florida honeymoon rehearsal that ended up in the bride's death. We'll have more on that in a moment.
Marilyn, The Last Word, a 3-day television event. Minute by minute, a murder scenario unfolded on her last day. Important people bugged her house. 4 men were ordered to kill her. Her body was moved. Robert Kennedy was set up. The truth was scrubbed clean. Marilyn, the Last Word starts Monday, February 17th. Back in a moment with more hard copy.
Of all the important safety features we put in the new Camry, some may seem a bit extravagant.
Stronger body construction, child protector rear door locks, rear seat headrests, adjustable front seatbelt anchors, standard driver's side airbag, available anti-lock brakes.
But when it came to safety, we didn't ask what it costs. We asked what it could save. The all-new 1992 Toyota Camry. We just couldn't leave well enough alone.
This is a night beyond imagination.
All telecommunications seem to be out.
A night when dreams end and nightmares begin.
What's happening?
This is a night of unspeakable terror. And when it's over, the world will be changed forever. For Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney, this is the night of the comet.
Tonight at 8 on Fox 29. When you want to tape your favorite shows, does it turn into a big production? Not with VCR Plus, the one-step programmer that works with your VCR and VCR Plus codes. Those numbers next to the shows in your TV guide and newspaper. Simply punch in the codes for the shows you want to tape. That's it. No more hassles. So program the old way or the fast, easy way with VCR Plus.
Hold, please.
Who do you answer to?
Me? I answer to everybody.
At Murray's, we answer to you.
I come to Murray's because I like the variety and you really get your money's worth.
Values like hot or mild half smokes $1.09 a pound. Beef half smokes just $1.59 a pound. Murray's crispy, delicious fish sticks are only $4.99 for a 3-pound box. And we're featuring Patrick Cudahy's Apple Blossom Applewood smoked bacon for only 99 cents a pound.
We answer to you.
Oldies 98's WOGO, the station you sing along to.
Sugar pie, honey bun. You know that I love you.
98.1 on your FM radio.
Kick my heels up and shout. Throw my hands up and shout. Throw my hands.
You know the words.
Stop. In the name of love. Before you break my heart. There she was, just a
Sing along to Philadelphia's Oldies station. Oldies 98's WOGO.
Death did they part even before they said their vows. He was a tan, handsome stranger. She, a blonde beauty in a bikini. He romanced her, asked to marry her, and made beautiful home movies of their beach honeymoon.
They were in love. This was a dream vacation that they'd been planning for quite some time.
Until he told police his bride had been shot dead in a horrible crime. Then police found the clue to his perfect murder, the honeymoon video. Also,
the 3 women in Elvis's bed.
Audio and appliances like this sharp 25-inch TV with remote.